3 ways to build a home based side hustle that helps you beat inflation. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, inflation is still rising at an annual increase of 8.3%. Since it doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon, it makes sense to start to look at what tactics you might take to counter this trend. What is the best way to beat inflation? As a result of inflation, living expenses go up. You must create strategies to boost your income as your cost to live starts to increase and increase even more. To be honest, you don't really have very many options. A raise at your job may be the best defense against inflation if you're employed, but is an increase of 8.3% realistic? Probably not. If you can't get a raise to match the rise in inflation, it's only natural to turn to a side hustle or a home based business. And what if you're no longer working or close to retirement? As it turns out, whether you're employed or retired, the solution can be the same. According to a recent study cited by AARP, the proportion of new businesses founded by people in the 55 to 64 age range increased from 14.4% in 1996 to 25.8% in 2018. No matter how old or young you are, you will need to do something to bring in more money if you want to be able to survive these increasing price hikes. So, how do people survive high inflation? This gig economy tendency is not new, but it has grown quickly, mainly because it is one of the best ways to reduce the financial stress brought on by inflation. Although inflation still exists, having a side hustle or a home based business makes life more manageable. The inflation rate being 8.3% means that on average, most people spend 8.3% more than they did a year ago for the same purchases. Many people have to dip into their savings or credit cards in order to stay afloat with this rising cost of living. But imagine making enough money from your home based side gig that you don't have to stress not being able to afford the things you've been easily affording just a year or two ago. If you embrace your inner entrepreneur, the numbers may be more manageable than you might fear for the immediate future. Even if you just generate a tiny profit, launching a small based business can help you combat inflation. For instance, if your monthly grocery budget was $1,000 and your grocery costs climbed by 10%, your overall expense in that category would only have grown by $100. While it is discouraging every time you go to the store, if your side business only made $100 in profit, you have more than made up for that expenditure. The monthly gas bill is the same. Therefore, even a few $100s more each month could be enough to meet the additional expenses for your home. Even though it may not seem like a lot of money, as you can see, it's still worthwhile. In fact, with just a little bit of effort, anybody can become an entrepreneur MVP. To do this, you must understand what an MVP stands for when beginning a side business. Here is a quick rundown of 3 things to think about while creating a home based side business that will help you beat your inflation worries. M equals money. More money means less stress. The bottom line is this: you've got to pick a gig that generates positive cash flow no matter how small. The money problem is especially stressful if you're retired and living on a fixed income. Any activity that adds a few more dollars to your wallet can help in the fight against inflation. This is where a home based side hustle comes in very handy. Be equal vested. Are you open to opportunities? Finding money is one thing, but vesting the time is the key. Home based businesses are usually the easiest to start because it's mostly done for you already. You don't have to invent the wheel, create your own products, or start a consulting firm. You basically just duplicate what your upline is doing, which saves you tons more time than starting a traditional business. It just takes you to look outside the box and embrace a new way of earning to realize the immense earning potential side hustles and home based businesses bring. Start a side business that is cheap overhead and doesn't require you to have any special ability if you want to increase your income without increasing your daily stress. You simply build on top of the company plan that is already in place. A sense of personal empowerment, freedom, and security that you might not experience at work can be fostered by owning your own business. A fantastic strategy to strengthen your financial position against inflation or a prospective recession is to diversify your income by including a low stress, home based side business. P equal profit. Very little overhead equals lots of profit. Home based businesses are a quick way to reduce your personal expenses. The tax saving alone can beat inflationary pressures and bring you an automatic profit. Expensing your phone, internet, home office, gas, etc. are all great ways to leverage your small business to your advantage and start immediately seeing how it can profit you. Of course, you want to double check with your tax advisor to discover how this applies to you. Pros versus cons. What are some side hustle ideas? Be warned though, a side hustle or side gig is a business. I advise you to keep your day job until you are able to fully dedicate yourself to founding and operating a business. You may need to consider whether the rewards outweigh the risk and the long term viability of both. But in this inflation economy, I don't see how it can outweigh the risk. But if you are retired on a fixed income or you are not working like a student, it's really a no-brainer. You cannot deny the power of the side hustle. It has the advantage of providing a path to defeat inflation. The main source of stress in most people's lives are frequent financial burdens. Why not embrace your entrepreneurial spirit? Work for yourself and earn some money while beating inflation to combat economic stress. You don't want to work harder, you want to work smarter. That's where the value of becoming an entrepreneurial MVP stands out, especially with a home based business that is practically done for you. I actually can offer you a home based business in a bottle, a done for you marketing system. Watch the video on the next page and I will show you how. Money, best, profit. Pay attention to those three factors, and your little gig can deliver fun and invigoration and help you beat inflation hands down.